order. You guys.
Almost gave Sam, come thank you not for giving us the opportunity to come out and do the city's business. Dear Lord, just give us wisdom and insight on being able to conduct business here tonight for the good of all the people, dear Lord. Just keep us and oversee all of us. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderman Vanderwerf.
Here.
Alderman Sills. Here. Alderman Colvin. Here. Alderman Peters. Oh, and the mayor. I forget. I'm so sorry. I know. Here.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Okay, first thing, before we go to the consent agenda, I have an amendment or two, which naturally messes up some people, and that's the way it is. We fit it in when we can, we get things done, and not wait until the next meeting. Anyway, the Assistant Police Chief Stetson Schwain would like to speak to the board, and hopefully he'll make it in. Also, I want to discuss the findings of the audit with the board. We have from the audits that we have. And was there a third thing that I had to amend? Was that two things?
I think that was it.
Okay, that should do us. Those two amendments, if you guys go along with that. I'm looking for a consent agenda.
I got a question, Eddie. It's on the airport. The airplane fuel, I see that we filled it, and I know, when it's low, we can't sell it if it's not there. Are we actually selling enough to be able to fill it? This is like, I feel like we're filling it a lot.
We've been selling a lot. We, we've been doing pretty decent on our fuel. We, they have, every year they have a, don't remember the exact name of it, but it's basically like an airplane car show in Oshkosh every year. So we had a prices set where we was making pretty decent profits on it. So what we've done, and that fuel had been in there for a little while, so we lowered our price a little bit, and it got quite a bit of business out of that. We pulled a lot of people off their flight path that say they might have been heading back to Texas. They'll veer 200 miles off their flight path to say 30 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
So, we sold quite a bit in that time period, to the point where we needed new fuel.
I had a couple of questions here, one on the pool and one on sanitation. We had a couple of expenditures that was over the $5,000 mark, and I was wondering why that wasn't brought to us.
On the
Which one's first?
Whichever, pool was 560 or 5682.99.
Yeah, that was, I think, 3 different invoices. That was the installation of the deck drain around the pool and then pouring the concrete from that to the coping.
Okay.
So all of that is eligible to put in for reimbursement.
Okay.
Can you put a note in for any of those, because that's also part of the grant, which is something that we already approved? So that way when we see those, we can see that exact thing. Just when it comes in the thing, just put a note as to what it ties to, so that way it helps quite a
Save
bit.
any confusion.
Yes.
And then you have another one?
Yeah, on the sanitation, we had a outstanding expenditure of $688.40. Was that the bag?
I don't know.
For like 18. You know what page that's on, Linda?
Page 24, it's the fourth item down.
Okay.
Oh, it's.
Tipping fees.
Yep, tipping fees.
That's
Okay.
tipping.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Is that the City of West Plains? Is that-
Yeah.
Standard, yeah,
Yeah.
that's just the billing.
Okay.
Under electrical, I did not see the regular payment.
That,
The MPUA payment?
Yep.
It's on the next page.
The
Yeah.
invoice is
yeah,
in there.
yeah, I remember seeing the invoice in there.
I promise it's there somewhere.
But that should be coming out of the electric budget though, right?
It does.
Okay, thank you.
It's on page 18. Under the community centers on page 6, we have a charge from Mountain View Lumber, it says soccer field. You see what I'm saying?
$63.
Yeah, I'm trying to,
Why isn't that on park? And what was it for, do you remember?
we did install some lights down there that the soccer association purchased. It could have been something involved with that. I wasn't the one that signed for it, so I'm not sure who coded it, but that's more than likely what it's, what it was for.
Conduit, I think.
Conduit?
I think so.
Okay. And it may have very well been coded out of parks too. I'm not sure. I mean, this doesn't show exactly. Oh,
That's why I questioned it.
could have been something wrote down wrong on the coding too, so.
How many, we have fax lines on the library, how many fax lines do we have over there, do we know?
I thought that we got rid of all the fax lines when we went to the new system,
City Hall still has a fax line.
right? The electric department has a huge fax bill too.
Yeah. We have multiples in here, and that's some flags.
All buildings, we had to keep our fax lines with Brightspeed because Grennan Communication doesn't offer that
Right.
for us, so we had to keep that. I mean, some correspondence through the FBI is that's how I get correspondence with them.
I understand City Hall.
The library has one fax line, the senior center has one fax line. Police department has one fax line.
The electric department, now that I've figured out what the fax line is, essentially it's a hard line for phone. So each one of the gateways
Okay.
have a hard line through Brightspeed. That's how we collect the information off the members. The airport has one for the fuel machine.
Can we recode that somehow so we don't get confused on, like fax line it just raises a lot of flags for me when I'm looking through and I'm seeing every department having fax lines and I don't understand why we
That
even use
maybe
it.
how it comes on the bill is just listed as.
We get separate bills for each fax line. And depending on the transmission, depends on how much we're charged.
So now, as far as how it's labeled in here, is that something that we can change though? As far as we call it like a hard line or something like that?
Landline?
Yeah, I can.
Landline?
Yeah.
Landline.
That might make it a little less confusing.
There's just a lot of confusion when you go through and you see multiple things with different prices for multiple departments, and I'm like,
It fluctuates.
why does this department need a fax line? So, I feel like faxes are kind of getting obsolete, and I understand City Hall needing it, I understand the police department needing it.
Library
Halfway.
charges to send a fax, like they'll charge people who use it a lot more.
And I halfway understand the library because, for that reason. I just didn't understand the other departments for.
In
Yeah,
senior center, I
that's
believe
just
she
a hard
does
line.
some different things maybe for other people. I can ask Kathy, but I would say they use it quite regularly. that they have to submit paperwork, and I think they submit a lot of stuff by fax, and that saves her from having, you know, go to City Hall and relying on someone else to do it when she do it. I can ask people how much they use it.
If you could.
Okay, thank you.
That's not like super important today, but
No, but I can ask her.
I appreciate it.
Did we have a order through Titan Industrial Chemicals that was split in half between electric and parks for wasp and chemical sprays? Because it's identical.
Parks, electric, and water, maybe. Was it electric parks?
Yeah, electric and parks.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so it was one and they split it between the
I
two?
think so, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Remember that now.
Similarities through.
And then on the shop, we have from Quill, it just says TP. My first understanding is toilet
That's
paper.
exactly right. Yeah.
Right, but Titan Industry, the chemical company also has toilet paper, right below it. So $250 for toilet paper for them, and then $40 for toilet paper for them, it's just,
I ordered toilet paper for them. I didn't know they had ordered through Titan,
okay.
so they have lots of
We
toilet
got
paper.
plenty. We keep dodging it every time we go in there.
I moved it.
But thank you.
That was just,
Eddie, on the pool, that one for 56 says ladder support, and it's on page 12. For LP Iron and Dirt.
Yeah. That was whenever they were pouring concrete. That's just a couple of things they did. Set in the ladder brackets and put the expansion, joint expansion around it. So, yeah, when I looked at the invoices, it took me a little bit to kind of make heads or tails of it too.
Page 28, bottom entry.
I was not invited to that lunch.
Me either. What was that one, Kelly? The roll cookies? Rice cookies, 817.
That was it like 1,000 something. That was something for the golf course at Tyco.
Oh, that's catering for a
Catering,
tournament?
okay. I did not see that in golf.
We're supposed to earmark that for golf.
And that was something else that I'm seeing too, is that we've got a lot more expenditures coming out that I didn't catch in the actual, what department it was coming from, so.
But they made back more than that. So
Yeah.
it's just, call it pre-buy.
Yep. Must have been some term.
northwest overhead door.
Done some digging on that today. That was the library and their grant for the handicap door. Yeah.
Okay. So what of that are we getting back?
I think all of it.
100%, I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that one threw me at first. I didn't have to put it.
Greens Pro Inc., I'm assuming is golf course.
Should be, yeah.
Is that chemical? Do we know?
Believe they handle a lot of their chemicals, yeah.
We approved a chemical line 2 months ago through the golf course, because it was the one that he presented us longer than that, probably about 4 months ago.
Yeah. It's when he came up for the, but I thought we were buying all then, because he was getting a deal on it.
Yeah, we got it on order, we still got to wait for it to come in.
And I think we can do, we pay for it as it comes in.
It's just a huge number, so. There's a lot of even smaller that I'm not seeing on the other side. So it's like, it's coming out of the bank, but it's not going into the first place. So it's kind of hard. I'm seeing a lot of,
Not seeing the recoupment of it too.
I'd like to see it, or recoupment number, but
Bring with you to Kelly.
I would do that on a sidebar and then bring the findings back.
Straighten it out. for this week.
I'd rather ask those questions and not let the police do it. Not in front of all these people.
On camera.
Right.
That was the whole thing.
I say completely. Dalton's. Most of them have, I mean, there is one in here that says water.
Should have a header. You wrote it.
Most of the time I can tell. I mean, it is water, people on it are water, but I also have wastewater on it, so.
Yeah, the second page, it's like water to me.
You're supposed to put that on there.
Yeah, yeah, should have it on there.
Just makes it easier when I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'll make mention of it.
Because if you look at this one and compare it to wastewater, there's a couple of them that coincide.
Gotcha.
They're good. motion to accept the consent agenda.
Motion by Steve,
Seconded.
second by Rhonda. All in favor?
Aye.
Steve, Brenda,
Aye.
Bert.
Aye.
Old business. I think Tabitha from the chamber has something to tell us.
Yes, of course. Hello. Like I'm just making a lot of noise. Okay, so I actually don't have a lot for you guys because I've literally just been working on Pioneer Days all month, but yeah, so we have pretty much full Pioneer Days. We have a lot of new vendors this year, which is like pretty exciting. We're like not taking any more applications for new vendors because we know that all of our old vendors are gonna like rush now that it's like almost go time. And so we're like kind of slowing down on that, but other than that, Pioneer Days is going good. We have meetings every Wednesday at noon at my office if anyone wants to be there for that. Last week it was just Eddie and I, and we walked around, so don't let me do that again. Someone show up. So, and like basically the only thing we have planned right now is in October we are going to have something at the Spectacular, which is with Ian Conley's in charge of it. It's like October 28th, but the chamber's going to be a part of it. Then we'll have our Veterans Breakfast like we do every year on November 11th. We have the business class that I told you guys about like a little while before that I hadn't scheduled yet, but that'll be on November 30th. I'm at the chamber. It's just for like people that want to start businesses. So I've invited like the whole entire business class from the high school, and then I'm going to reach out to local high schools and offer or like ask them if they want to come to, but I'm sure that they usually have these like kind of everywhere, so they probably already had one. But I have reached out to Liberties, FBLA, and the business class to come to that too. We'll have 2 craft fairs before Christmas, one in November, one in December. I don't have a date yet. I'm still working on Pioneer Days. And then I already told you guys about the Christmas parade, but I'll say it again, it's the 16th. And it's the songs of Christmas. And I've been in touch with business owners to try to have like a downtown stroll that evening too. So that way everyone will decorate and we'll get people inside of their businesses if they want to open late for like refreshments, cookies, who knows what else, hot cocoa, things like that, kids, peppermints, Christmas stuff. So yeah, that's it.
Do you have any questions?
So it'll be, I don't have an exact date for the, or time for the parade because I don't know what time it gets dark at that time of year. I guess like 6,
Like 5.
like, yeah, like 5, 6, like ish.
Find out, let me know, because
Yes.
people will call us and ask.
Yeah, I'll let you know for sure. I don't know for sure, like I've been telling everyone the same thing, like, hey, just, so if you want to get phone numbers, I can call out whenever I do have time. I don't know yet, but
We can just,
yeah, it'll be dark.
dark 30.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have a lot of people signed up for the Christmas parade so far?
I have 5 songs taken so far, so I guess that's technically 5 right now. So, yes, yeah. Well, as soon as Pioneer Days is over, then that'll be my next big thing. So that'll be all the time to start advertising for.
521 is sunset.
521 is dusk. Those sunsets at 4:51.
Oh my. So like 6 probably then. We'll do like line up and start at 6. That way it's like pretty dark. That's what I'm gonna say, 6.
Well, when you officially know.
Yes, that'll be after a board meeting, but I'm gonna say, like, I'm sure they will agree.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for me, please? Thank you very much.
All right.
Keep it up.
Yep. Have a good evening, guys.
Now, Robin McCullough would like to speak about Buck Nelson Days.
Yeah. Well, luckily I got a boss that allows me to attend some of these meetings that are on the tourism. Some of them get kind of lengthy. One of the things that this last meeting that was brought up is there have been a lot of problems in the past at different places with the amount of people that come in that are not expected from a city, and we don't have proper routes to get the fire department, the emergency responders, and those people. So I guess that's going to require a meeting probably with the police chief and the fire chief to get those ironed out where we cannot have people. We need to know about outhouses. I think it would be, if the city gets the outhouses, from what I understand, then we don't have to pay tax on the outhouses. I don't think we should have to pay tax for outhouses for people to come to the city of Mountain View. I don't mind paying for the outhouses out of the Buck Nelson Festival, but the city, in order for us to do that, the city has to pay for them up front, and then we have to reimburse the city. because we can't buy something for the city and pay for it if it's not fixed that way. And I don't think it's fair to Signal or Casey's or anybody else to I mean, even if it's 50, not the 50,000, even if there's only 15,000 people in the town of Mountain View on Monday, that's gonna be a lot of people. So I don't know, you know, if I go ask people if I can put it up, or if we should just put them all down here. There's table tents being made at this time to go in all the restaurants and stuff. If we should have them centered like down by the community center, library area, or if we should try and put them in different places in town. You know, I'm kind of looking for the council, for people to help with that, what the ideas and best be.
I'd say spread them out, but that's just me.
My opinion is they need to be open and well-traveled areas, so we don't have transients in them or, you know, people using them for bad things. So
Well, we only need them on Monday, but I don't know, do they deliver on weekends? I don't know.
Probably deliver on Friday or Saturday.
Probably so, pick it up on Tuesday.
I mean, I guess we could chain them shut until Monday.
I'd rather see them out here. I mean, we can spread them across this area, from, you know, Elm to 17.
I know the lot up by where the Old Town and Country is, they were spoken to and they would allow us to have a set up there, you know, pairs of.
Usually on one-day events, it's better to look to see if we can find a trailer that has a bunch of them on it that are set, so that way they brought on, they're set in one place or two places and then they're removed. Because if you drop them off in different places, now you're looking at vandalism and anything else that goes on, not only before, during, but after. And because it's a one-day event, it'd be better to look for something that's already tied together as far as for that.
And you guys' past experiences with town happenings and all that, first of all, who usually pays for it? How is that usually set up? Do you remember way back? I remember there used to be outhouse, but I had no idea who was bringing it in or anything.
Well, I'm sure about Pioneer Days has porta potties out.
I think,
And
I was thinking the
city
city
did.
does, but
I know a couple of years ago when I worked with Trish the first time, the city got them, and I think the last year Linda Lewis, I'm pretty sure the city got them. Because I was here for a couple of Lindas and then through Trish and Renee and
I was thinking we did too, but that's been a few days.
And of course, going and finding old records of things.
Well, we'll look into that because if it's a city function, it is for the community and it's not for profit. We'll see.
If any of you, and I'm stressing it, I have tried to talk to Sylvan, we've tried to talk to, if people have businesses in this town, I don't give a flip if you're closed every other day of the week. If you're not open on Monday, shame on you. I mean,
That's their loss.
it's just, and if that's the day you choose, you know,
Are you gonna have stuff going on, I know it's gonna be big, but in other parts of the town too, that
on Monday, it will be everywhere. Friday is just gonna be at the community center, that'll be the opening of the art show. Saturday will be a craft show, and I have not heard from Ty yet. I am really wanting the golf course to do a Buck Nelson hole or something, because if they come to golf, if the husbands come to golf, not that some women don't, but then hopefully their wives will come to the craft show that's right there at the youth center. That goes during the day, then there's gonna be stuff at the, if it's warm enough, unless it's, then we have other arrangements to make, or that we're in the process, but if it's warm enough, there will be afternoon activities, there's gonna be a band and stuff at the Veterans Park, and then Saturday night, babysitting will be done at the Christian Church, and the youth center, there will be a dance there that's sponsored by the chamber. And then Sunday afternoon, there'll be astronaut and speaking and stuff at the park if it's warm enough. If not, that'll be inside the youth center. And then Saturday, then Saturday's Glow Run. Also, that Glow Run, that 5K, is being sponsored by the chamber. there'll be aliens chasing the runners through town, so we gotta get that set up, so anyhow. So, yeah, there's stuff going on all weekend, and Monday starts early. Monday will be all day long.
I was just wondering what else was going on, where we, if we spread them out, where we need to put them out to.
Probably up around the Veterans Park and down here would make the most sense. And if we have this map to hand people, they'll be marked, restrooms, where the police department is, that kind of stuff.
So where is the route for the running?
For 5K.
I don't know yet, we're working that out, that's.
Because you can't cross over any of the major intersections or anything either, you can't shut it down.
The last time I had one, it went up around the softball fields and out on the east side of
Right.
town. So,
Yeah, but away from the major
Yeah.
intersections and
Go
stuff.
through the golf course.
And it may end up being a 3K instead of a 5K. Somebody said the school to here. I'm not a runner, evidently. So anyway, if I run, you better run because something's chasing me. But we will keep that in mind. I'll be working with Tabitha on that. And the other thing, which is really more chamber related, the garbage disposal that is at the community center. Am I gonna get a garbage disposal and build a city and y'all are gonna put it in there, or are you gonna get me a garbage disposal in there? Okay. And whoever's pouring mop water down there needs their neck around, but that's okay. So that's all I have at this point, so it's moving forward.
Anybody have questions for Robin?
appreciate your hard work.
Thank you.
Hold it,
Wait,
hold
wait,
it.
wait,
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 wait.
wait.
Got a question.
I have a
We've got questions from the audience.
Do we know kind of when the actual eclipse is happening? Because this is getting out that we're like the center. We were up in St. Louis at a doctor's office, and the doctor asked us about facilities and places to stay. So we've got people as far away as St. Louis looking at coming down in our area.
Our
for
hotels
the
around
eclipse.
here are booked.
Are they?
Oh, yeah, I meant to tell you,
Yeah.
Stephen Matthews and his wife, they have that bed and breakfast, it's not done, but he said that he would have it ready.
But I'm just saying, we're liable to have more people than
Yeah,
what we're even
there's a
thinking.
time, it's gonna be about 11, there's a time blocked off in the whole thing from like 11:26 to 12:30 that there won't. And of course, we have been talking to the school because the school is on, this is actually being wrote into part of the school curriculum. So the school kind of flooded, if anybody remembers in 2017, if you tried to buy a pair of solar glasses, you couldn't get them. And then the school got all them, then when they were flooded with them, well, the school is helping us and we're helping the school. So the school is working on getting them, and we already have about 300 in our possession, and we're in the process of getting Buck Nelson stuff put on them. And so we're selling books and things like that already. So by next meeting, we should have t-shirts available.
Thank you very much. Okay, Bill 1377 to become resolution. Sarah, I'm sure you'd love to do that for us.
And I know Ryan's not here, but he said if you had any questions, he's available by phone, so, but he'll be available the next meeting when we read it the second time. A resolution authorizing an agreement by and between the city of Mountain View, Missouri and the Mountain View Birch Street R3 School District. Whereas the city council of the Mountain View, Missouri desires to enter into a ground lease agreement with the Mountain View Birch Street R3 School District, and whereas the city council of the city of Mountain View, Missouri deems it wise and necessary to pass this resolution authorizing this ground lease agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the city council of the city of Mountain View, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that the city council of the city of Mountain View, Missouri does authorize a ground lease agreement by and between the city of Mountain View and the Mountain View Birch Street R3 School District in a form substantially similar to the copy attached to this resolution, and authorizes either the mayor to execute the ground lease agreement on behalf of the city of Mountain View. Section 2, that this resolution shall be in full force and effect after its passage and approval. And my bad, this is the only reading season of the resolution.
Substantially similar. Yeah, well, I'd like to hear from either of them. It said substantially similar to the attached. What would be different?
If you guys wanted to change something, or if Ryan gets it and they want to change something, then we can agree to make alterations to it, but,
After the fact, but,
yeah.
okay, so we're.
Or if you decide whenever it goes to renew that something needs to be adjusted from the first to the renewal.
Okay, this agreement you're looking at for 20 years,
Yes.
okay, 20 years is 10 election cycles. Okay. We have found that every 5 election cycles, we have either a change in as far as for direction of city or the school. So we're going twice as long with this property as what our actual direction stuff. Is that making sense? About
Yeah.
every 10 years is where something comes through for either one of the boards, either the school itself or the city, in directions as far as for things. I'll keep changing things out. Like about 10 years ago, soccer field was the latest direction. Do we want to lock something in for 20 years, and then that locks us in for this direction for another 5 cycles to where nobody else can run through? What I'm looking at is 20 years too long, should we look at 10 years?
They're making a
And then
substantial investment in it. And for 10 years, they.
Ultimately, it's the citizens of the school district itself that's making it, so they're going to be the ones around.
Right.
And that's my question and stuff as far as for this, is the time period itself, is that going to be?
All right,
Are
like I
you
said,
saying that, like,
Instead of the
every time-
20 years, look at 10 years, is that something that's acceptable too? And then at that, your renewal every 10 years, which is in with what our direction cycles have been. And that's by history.
if we were two separate entities, that would be a safe way for us to go, but it would be an unsafe way for them to go. But since we're all really the same.
We're not the same
tax-
entities.
Same taxing base.
Well-
We're all paying into it.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's for all of our benefit.
they have, as far as for bigger, it does go for our kids and stuff that's here. I agree with that, but I'm looking at the directions and stuff that goes, because we have that, and notoriously, it's been a 10-year cycle, is where either the city itself, or the school, or the county has done their changes.
So basically what you're saying, within the 20 years, we could change, if something needed to be changed or altered up there, we're tied up for 20 years, so
Yep.
there's no change. I would almost agree with you. I would think if they would do it, I would rather do 10 years.
I would think they'll do it.
It wouldn't be in their
I
best
don't think
interest to put the money
I
in
can
for
ask,
10
I can
years.
text Ryan and ask him.
You can ask him, but I'm pretty sure he's not.
Well, it wouldn't be in their best interest at all.
Let's make a
Yeah.
motion so we can actually discuss it.
Well, the thing to think of in that is if they're gonna dump a bunch of money in that,
Do we need a motion to go through this, discuss this resolution?
I mean, yeah, you should have one to,
Let's do that.
at least, yeah.
Make a motion that we accept bill number 1377, resolution 230912.
We have a second?
I'll second it.
Now,
Now I have
discussion.
lots of questions.
Okay.
Okay, in this contract, it actually states right here, the contract's similar to this, so I don't actually agree with going through this today until we see a contract. I agree with Murray that I'd like to do 10 years, you know, with the option to renew.
They only want 20.
So my biggest issue I have in this contract is that it states everything they do to it, they can pick it up and take it with them. It states this in that contract. So if they take out our bleachers, which we know they need work, they need to be redone, they take out our bleachers, they put their bleachers in, and then decide they want to take them with them, now we're out bleachers. If they decide that building is not up to their standard and they take it down, and they put up their own building, they can take it with them.
It has to be something that's not attached. for them
It
to
actually does
take.
not state, it states attached or otherwise in the contract. I read it 3 times today because there was multiple questions I had.
Then that would just be a typo because it's,
She wrote it.
yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I copied the one for the
So-
feed program, so it should be
Yeah.
pretty much the exact
Anything
same
that's
terms that you
attached
have
stays.
the other lease from, right?
And I'm not saying they would do that to us, but like Murray said, in 20 years, we don't know who's gonna be on that board. We don't know who's gonna be on our board.
But that's in 20
Yeah,
years.
but in 20 years, they're gonna renew it anyway. They'll walk away.
It actually, in the contract, it states that at the end of their lease that they're leaving.
Not necessarily, that's up to them. and us.
Yeah, we can't put anything to auto renew through the city because you have to do a resolution
Right.
every single time.
We'll have 20 years of a good baseball field.
If 20
But
years is not agreed to,
We're not-
they will not be playing ball games there.
We will not, we will be using it, having use of it, we're not giving up anything, we're not selling it.
And I understand why they want the 20 years, because they are looking at, I mean,
They have a timeline of when they want to do,
Right.
like, upgrades, and that's kind of their timeline.
Yeah.
But he said
They've
if
already
20 years
put
is not agreed to,
thousands of
that they,
dollars
yes,
into this
that's what he
field.
said.
And nobody's ever said, oh, thank you for doing this,
Yeah.
or,
My-
oh,
my
that was
own-
great that you did it.
My only concern is if we decide we don't want to go that route, we are going to have to change all the light bulbs.
They're gonna build their own
So
field.
That's what they're
gonna,
gonna do,
yeah.
yeah.
They're saying
Yeah,
it's a
they'll
lot.
just build.
And they'll
light
build it out by the.
and I'm not saying we don't do it, all I'm
Yeah.
saying is these are my concerns with
Yeah.
it.
I'm just letting you know what he's telling me.
And I understand,
Wait, what did he
Why
say?
isn't he
He
here
said-
to defend himself?
He's in a meeting in St. Louis, he was unable to attend, so, yeah.
So what did he?
He said if it's not for 20 years, then they can't do it, they'll have to look elsewhere.
Yeah, they can't justify it to their board.
That's what he said.
'Cause that's
So
the
that's what their
investment.
board-
The initial investment they're gonna put into it is basically a 20-year span,
Right.
lifetime, a lifespan, so
I
it's
just,
reasonable.
I
And
just
they're not
don't like,
buying anything from
I
us.
don't like how the contract is written, and I'm not
If you
willing.
want to table it till the next meeting, he can be at the next
Yeah,
meeting.
I'm just not willing to,
That's,
yes.
He's like,
Yep.
this
I
meeting
agree.
got sprung
We'll-
upon
we'll
him,
table this.
otherwise he would be here.
And if you would.
I think it'd be easier, that way he can answer the question
Yep.
for us.
it-
Because I liked his proposal, I loved it. I think it's a great idea, I think we should do it, there's just questions I have.
We
before
sure
we-
let them know we're not being difficult, we just
No.
got questions.
It's a long time to put my name on it.
And you may need to have that meeting
I don't
with
know how you can
Deidre
get
as
it.
well, at the same time, this way she can say what legally has to, how it has to say, even though it doesn't sound like.
Well, and I'll go through and highlight my questions.
Yeah, if you'll just let me know.
Yeah, and then we can chat about that. That's just a long contract.
So we have
Yeah.
a motion that, for, like, take a vote at this time.
I'll make a motion, we
We
table.
already have a motion, that's one. Are you in favor of that motion?
Every question.
Wait, we got
Can I
one
just
more.
also bring up, that y'all need to probably bring up to Mr. Towning, is another thing is the Mighty might choose that football field for practices and for games. And, the
as I
Little
said, we have youth
Leaguers,
sports. that-
flag football.
But they're talking about their school, they will use.
No,
a
we
different
use the
facility for
softball
their school.
football field.
They could, anybody else can use the
Yeah.
baseball field for whatever, but they're talking about for their own liability of their sports, they have to have a field that is up to certain standards, because it doesn't meet.
Well, I
the
understand that, but they use that field for practices and stuff like that. Are they still gonna allow the,
Yes.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
to do that?
And
Okay.
the
Because they're
public,
just
the general
using it.
public can still
Can
use
still
it.
use
Well, that's, yes, that's what I'm
They're not
asking.
changing any of that. They just want to invest in it, so it brings it up to standards for like the school.
We have a motion on the floor I'd like to dispose of, so.
Motion, you got,
Would you like to read the motion to us that we have seconded already? We just had.
There was a
we just
lot of
got it now.
discussion, all I heard was that you guys were gonna table it, but I don't know what.
But we didn't finish the motions.
Yeah.
You motioned, and we are discussing it. Your motion was to pass this, and then it was seconded by Linda. So a vote.
now wait, if we table it, that stops everything
stops
right there.
We want to stop it by getting this motion.
If we
Dispose
table
the
it,
motion.
if we table it at its place, then that opens it up for discussion at the next. If we vote, then it stops. It needs to be tabled right now, so that way the discussion continues, and then we can let Mr. Chowning, as far as be here at the
So,
next meeting.
so do we need
I
a
don't
motion to
have-
table?
We just tabled it, this, it needs to be tabled at this time.
I disagree, but that's all right. It'll go. We can go with it. We'll go along with that, with the table, but we really needed to dispose that motion.
He
Okay.
said they may or may not,
Pardon?
they may or may not like be available at the next meeting. If it's not passed or something, he will discuss it with the board and let me know.
At the meeting that this was brought up by Ryan Chowney, he absolutely said, and there was 3 out of 4 of you guys there, he absolutely said the reason it needed to be done was to bring tournaments, baseball tournaments, to this town, which would provide lots more. Now, my question to you is this, you're gonna buy a vehicle for 20 years, are you not gonna put your name on it for 20 years? They're wanting to spend maybe $100,000, $200,000 to put this field up to standards so they can have tournaments here. And he stood right there and told 3 out of 4 of you that. And Murray, you were gone, but he stood right there and told 3 out of 4 of you. And the questions that you're asking does not make sense.
I'm not saying that we're not
Well,
gonna
if
do
you
it.
table this, they're liable to say, well, we're done, we're just gonna build our own field down by the high school.
That is the ramifications of it. You just-
Well, then that
And
is
this
what it
is
is.
an
If I have-
opportunity
if-
for the city.
If I have concerns about a contract that's not sitting in front of me, you guys elected us to sit up here and make decisions for the city.
So in other words, what you're saying is Mountain View Birch Tree R3 School District, who's got a football field here, has been there for over 40 years, is out to do the city of Mountain View harm with the baseball field?
That is not at all what I'm saying.
Well, that's what it seems like when you're
Nope.
saying no.
There are legalities written into this that I don't agree with, that I have questions for, and he's the only one that can answer
No,
them.
I'm sorry.
So why didn't you ask him when he was standing there with that?
But
Because the
Deidre-
contract wasn't sitting here.
Excuse me, people, excuse me, but Deidre can answer your questions legally. Any legal questions that you have. We can bring it back up anytime if you want to if anyone wants to make a motion, you can, and we can bring it up and discuss it again. And you can ask Deidre all the questions you want. And if you're still not satisfied, and if you want to go through it both, that's fine.
My question is on the contract. I can bring it up now.
But we need a motion to bring it up.
Let's just move on.
I ask if you have
What-
any motions.
What was Ryan's statement to you?
You can make a motion.
I make a motion that we can discuss this more because we're not
You
done
want
discussing
to
it.
make the motion to, okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
And we have a second, now we can discuss it. Okay, Stephen, well, Linda, you had a question right off the bat.
She opened the motion, let her go.
Well,
I just want to know what Ryan had said is, are they open to come back and talk to us and answer any other questions?
It's gotta be two meetings anyway, as far as we go through.
If it's a,
For the resolution.
Resolution is single.
I did tell him that it might be tabled until October, and he said that may or may not happen. He said the board, and him for that matter, would not be necessarily happy with that. He'd have to let me know.
And he did stress that to us last time when we were talking, that it was a matter of timing, they wanted it to be ready for next spring, they had a lot of prep work to do and stuff to build and all that. Now, Brenda, you had a
Well,
question?
mine was just on the contract, because he said that, Stephen said that he was worried because the wording wasn't quite right.
Mhm.
So what you're saying, if I understood you, is that the wording can be changed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
What we
just
want and what the school
as
wants.
drafted at this point. Like I said, I just pulled it off of the last city ground lease that I had to go from, which was the feed program. So you might want different things. Like I think I found the portion, Stephen, that you were asking about, and that gives 30 days after the end of the agreement for them to remove things. That was how it was set up with the feed program. If you don't want to give them that ability, you don't have to.
So I don't think
We
that
just have to have something to go
He's
on,
right. I
and
don't
that's
think
not
they
something that was
should.
addressed originally in the presentation.
They're not going to do this.
So-
I'm not saying they're gonna do us like that, but
But that's how that makes them feel. But they also have to approve the contract too, right?
yes.
Like, so
Yes.
they,
Yes.
there may be things in there that they don't like as well, so they may come
Right.
back and,
But I have to give you guys something for you to look at to even agree to move forward, which is why I just have to kind of take the last one that we've done and then the information that I have, and then other things that have not been addressed will just be the same as the last one, like that 30-day time period, but things like that can be removed. That's also why it says substantially similar, because before anybody can sign it on our end and we can really talk about it, we have to agree to do something.
So when is their board meeting that they're gonna look at this contract?
I have no idea.
There's a date in here as of December 31st of 2043.
I think it would help to understand.
And I think that was just a holdover as well, because nobody gave me any dates.
Deidre, I think we have a misunderstanding. This resolution is only authorizing us a ground lease agreement by and between the city of Mountain View and the school district in a form substantially similar. It's just telling us that we're agreeing to one, but we're not signing a contract yet. We're not asking to authorize to sign a contract for the actual lease. This is just authorizing us to put that lease agreement together and go for it when everybody here is happy with it, right? Because it'd be substantially similar to the copy attached. So this way the school knows we're gonna go for it, let's just go ahead and tweak it.
This is what you call good faith.
This resolution actually states in it, it's giving you authorization to execute a ground lease agreement, is what this says. It's not saying that we're agreeing we're gonna do it and let's go to the table and get a good lease. This says that you can do it.
Okay.
So,
Right, so the resolution, you don't need a resolution just to start a contract, you need
Right.
one to sign a
Yeah.
contract, or a lease, which is what this is.
right.
So the substantially similar language and then the lease that is in front of you is just because I can, I don't know all the ins and outs of everything that everybody's gonna want done. And most of the time whenever I'm dealing with people, they don't know what they want either until they sit down and read it. So I just have to give you something. So it's just saying, this is going to be basically what you're going to be signing. It should have all of your larger terms correct. This is your opportunity to look at it and say things like, if you do not want that 30-day time period for structures to be removed in there, say that you don't want that in there, we strike that out. And then once you guys are done with it, then you go ahead and pass it, and then that authorizes, in this case, the mayor, city administrator, whoever you would want it to be, to execute an agreement provided that the terms are not significantly different than what is contained in the lease as you have agreed to it as of the passage of that resolution. And things, they're legalese as to what would or wouldn't be significantly different. Things like changing the due date of a payment to the 15th instead of the 1st is probably not going to be substantially different. Changing it from, $20 to $500 is going to be substantially different. Or granting them the ability to remove something after you've already said that they can't, putting things back in or striking things that you specifically wanted would be substantially different. But so since we don't have the ability for you all as a board to just go sit down with a school board and hash it all out together, because then it just becomes a council meeting, we just have to take something and
Is there a
go
way we
with
can
it.
get it to be, like if we've made a motion to, put it, that we will go ahead, we are in agreement to go ahead with it, contingent on the final approval of the board at such and such time or something.
So that would be basically just tabling it. If you're not ready to proceed with moving, if you're not ready to authorize someone to sign one yet, then you would table it and just, say that your intention is to proceed with one, but you need more time to actually go through and decide on the specific terms that you want in there that were not covered by the school's original presentation. Which there will be things in there that absolutely were not covered, because like I said, there are things that people don't think about unless you have one sitting in front of you. So if you need more time to do that, then you would just table it. You can say that you intend to pass it, you just need more time to decide what you want that lease to actually look like. But that wouldn't necessarily mean that you need somebody from the school to be here, that's just you all deciding what you want, and then you can pass it once you're comfortable moving forward with an actual signing, provided that the school agrees to the terms as they are laid out.
I don't-
Their next meeting is the 21st.
Pardon me?
Their next meeting is the 21st.
Of this month.
I don't have a problem with what they're wanting to do, and I would even go, if they're dead set on the 20-year, because I know they're making an investment, but it's hard to sit here if we don't have something in stone on a contract. If we done an agreement that, hey, we're gonna go along with it, we're good with it, but we would like to see a contract before we put our names on it. Because that's where I'm at. I would hate to go out here and, I've been burnt before, not that they're going to, but once you put your name on something and you don't have it in front of you, it's kind of hard to sit here in this position and do that. It'd be like buying a house and not having, sign your name to the loan papers, but you don't know what all the ins and outs of it is exactly.
Sure. And so that's why, you guys can table it and have time to go through and make changes before. You can sit up there right now and workshop the whole thing if you want to. If you've got specific things that right now you can say, I don't want this in here, I do want this in here, you can decide all of that right now. And if you get it to a form right now that you like, then you can pass it because it just is going to be substantially similar to what you received. And then I would take it and make those changes and then send it back to everybody. Or like I said, you can table it, go through, everybody make their own individual changes, come back together, decide what you as a board want it to say, and then decide that you want to send it out. That's all totally up to you.
Has anyone from the school district seen this contract yet?
No, I have not sent it to them because
So they're gonna
I need
make,
to know
they
what you
might
guys
make
want
changes
first.
too, because their bylaws state they have to say certain things too.
I know, I talked to Ryan about it and he said that everything that they needed included was in their presentation. So I specifically called him twice and had him come in once,
Well,
just to make sure that they had everything that they need to have.
And he didn't
But-
say anything about the removal. My understanding is when they were done, they were just gonna, if they didn't continue the lease, they would just leave it
Sure, yeah.
how they did it. Just seeing that wording in there kind of threw me for a loop. So if we can remove that part of it, I'd be happy to go ahead and move forward, assuming they don't add anything drastic to it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to change
So-
anything on it because I think that their key points were already in there. But yeah, I just have to start with somebody, and since I work for you all, I start with you. Because if you guys just say, no, we don't want to do that or something.
Changed.
No, other than what Stevens had mentioned with the removal and stuff, because I know they're wanting to upgrade that park. It needs to be upgraded. It's been there since I was in high school. I'm totally in favor of that. I've put my name on things before that wasn't black and white, and you come back and it gets dicey. So, but yeah, if they could do that part, I don't know if the guys, have you got anything else?
Brendan, do you have anything change? Or would you like to see something change?
No, but I think what would probably be the better is probably send this contract to them for the next meeting, because their meeting would be next, they see the same contract. And then that would allow them to have questions if they have any changes at the same time too, so that way it comes back with both sides of
But I
the
would definitely
changes.
put our changes on it.
Yeah,
like
but
he's
it's
requesting.
Right, I can go ahead
And
and make
that
the
still has
changes
a
that you
tabling, because at that point,
specifically.
because it's in a negotiation.
Right, so I can go ahead and change the things that you know right now that you want, and then I can go ahead and email that to, I guess probably to Ryan, and then I can just put on it that it's a draft, and then if they wanna make any changes, they can make changes. If you guys find any changes that you want made kind of in the meantime, then you can let me know, and then,
And then you can just
I'd
let
like to check.
Ryan know
Gotta
that,
check in with
Yeah.
Brian,
I'm sending him a message.
That it's
letting
not
him know
that-
we'll see what the timing
that
is.
you're gonna get the, teacher's gonna get the contract.
It's not that I don't
to
wanna do
him,
it, I just,
So that way they can have it for their
Yeah,
meeting
no, I-
and review it as well.
just,
I had to reread it
You
3
might-
times because it confused me.
You might tell him that if it's all kosher, that we could even have a special meeting for it to get going if there's a timeline.
Okay,
Yeah, if you agree to that, then,
I'm sure he'll call me after.
Okay.
okay.
It's not that I'm not trying to be hard to get along with, but it's just, I wanna make sure
It's
both
still a
parties are happy.
contract. A contract is not all or none, it has to be to where you're done, and if you don't have the other side here, then it doesn't matter what it is.
It's gotta work for both parties.
So,
is that the only thing that you know just right off the bat that you definitely want taken out?
That's the only thing that
Do you want that entire clause
I don't think,
taken out, or do you want me to take out just affixed things? I'm not really sure why they did it that way for the
I don't think
fee
the entire
program.
clause was bad, it was just the ending of that.
For the 30 days?
Yeah.
Okay,
Which number?
it's like if they wanna take the bleachers out while they still have the lease, you're okay with that, but once the lease is done, then whatever is left on the property stays.
Well, I mean, I'd like them
Or
to
do you want
have
me-
bleachers back, like,
I say, I can word it that anything that they remove, they must replace.
well, it actually does state that it's gotta be left in the same or better condition in this
Right.
contract. So if bleachers are there, they need to have bleachers back there. So that's already covered as far as I'm concerned. It's,
Okay.
13-1.
I mean, since it's the law, I certainly don't mind to be redundant, we love that, but,
So,
Well, it still be for 20 years, that was his only question.
Yeah.
Okay.
13-2, you mean?
oh yeah, I guess that probably 13. Oh, no, it's 13-1. So, maybe not. Maybe that wasn't it, sorry.
So, is there something in here that if they say, like Murray said, they change boards and they decide not to go forward with this at a certain point, say 10 years from now, does that release us from the agreement?
It should be an
Well,
agreement.
either side can break the agreement, right?
right. Yeah, if they decide that they want to terminate the lease, then that can be
Okay.
done. If it's costing them more than they think it's worth or something like that, they can terminate.
And if it says they have to leave it in as good a shape or better when they leave it, then no matter what they do and what they take out, it's still gonna be better than when they started.
Yeah.
It's
That
not
feels-
entirely true.
Better than what's there.
It's not entirely true. Yeah, that's the only thing that I can see that I didn't really like.
So if that's the case, then why, if that's the only thing we want to change, pass the resolution with that change in it now, and then it goes to them and they agree to it, it's done, and we're doing it, it's going.
But then if they make,
No, if they don't make a change.
They have to.
Substantially.
I think the best thing is after they see it, then we'll call a special meeting as far as for the
As
final.
long as
Because
it's timing, right, that's what I'm worried
as
about.
long as the timing works.
Well, even if they send it back with what their changes and stuff would be, that would be.
And you're all
We can
agreed,
do-
emergency meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll work with them
I
anyway.
don't want to lose
I think it's the best way to do it.
the momentum of that, because that's Eddie didn't even tell you how much that saves the city.
Oh,
No, it's 24.
Thousands of dollars.
yeah, you're probably, I mean, right off the bat, 40 grand, bare minimum. And that's just the poles and wires.
Yeah.
The lights is another 75 to 100,000.
And don't get into bleachers and everything.
Yeah, and that's not even touching bleachers, the field house, none
And
of
the
that.
maintenance.
And the maintenance, the utility bill, all that. I
The
mean,
money
it's-
that they're gonna bring to Mountain
Yeah,
View with the
yeah,
tournament.
especially if they can get tournaments in here.
Yeah.
And one plus, I mean, the city is still retaining the softball fields. You know, we complete control of those, so I love that idea.
Okay, so you want to modify the motion, or you want to
Leave it as it's tabled.
table it, leave it tabled?
Yeah. And then if you can make those adjustments, send it over to them, and then once we hear back from them, if they have any changes, then we can have a meeting and we'll go ahead and move forward on it.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, Bill 1375.
An ordinance amending this is the second reading, an ordinance amending the criminal and traffic code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View. Whereas the city council has determined that there is a need to amend the criminal and traffic code of ordinances of the city of Mountain View, Missouri, being ordained by the Board of Aldermen for the city of Mountain View, Missouri as follows. So chapter 70 of the criminal and traffic code of ordinances be amended as follows. Chapter 70, fire department, subchapter A, general, 70.120 changes to non-members.
I will make a motion that we accept bill number 1375, ordinance 1743.
Motions, Stephen,
I second it.
second, Brenda. Discussion?
This is the second reading,
Yes,
correct?
second reading.
That's what I thought.
Vote, Lingo,
Aye.
Aye.
Brenda.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next one, council to discuss city administrator position. That's what we talked about that.
I had Sarah put that on there, I was hoping we'd have the audit back, but as things seem to come, I'd like to at least reach out to our
have the audit.
Well, I know, we didn't have it in time before we put this on. I put that on at the last meeting, but I'd like to at least reach out to our applicants and tell them that we're still, because there's been a couple come to me and say, hey, what are you doing? So once the audit, we kind of get it squared away and see where we're at, let them know we're still looking forward. I'd like to move forward with that, but I can't right now until we get all this stuff in, so.
We had a total of 4 applicants, right? We're now down to 3. The one I had has backed up. So we have 3 applicants still.
Okay.
We're in constant touch with them.
Okay.
All 3, as a matter of fact. They pretty much know that's what they were at so far.
Okay. I just want to make sure we can afford it before I push, bring it up again, but I wanted to make sure we could get through this first and look at it good, so.
For me, I mean, this isn't just for this situation, but for, modifying our budget anyways, we kind of need to see what last year's numbers were. And I know this audit does not cover last year, the year prior.
This past year.
Yeah, this past year. We need to see what went out, what came in.
It gave you something at the end, it was just a very small, simple little spreadsheet that was everything, revenue, like expenditures, all that stuff, sales tax, everything that was as of this end of fiscal year 2/30.
Okay.
So you guys didn't have to, I can print it off for you again, it's very simple, it's very basic, just easy to read and follow. So I can give you another one of those if you'd like.
Was it in this package?
No, but you've had it in a previous packet. But I can get it to you.
Because there's a lot of things that go into play, and I just need to see all the numbers before we make a decision on
I can do that, no
moving
problem.
forward on any of it. So,
And that was a lot to digest in a couple
it
of
was
days.
definitely a lot to digest, for sure.
That's why I offered it to you as soon as I had it.
Yep, I know.
Tell you what we could do. Kelly, would you be able to duplicate what you did for me here, for everybody here? I mean, not today, but for our board members.
Yeah, I can just make copies of yours.
Hey, you know what? Why don't we can probably get it tonight, just a copy of them. You'll have everything you just asked for. Because I just made this, Kelly just made this up for me today. And it's all the way to date. All the way.
Because we kind of need all that anyway, so we can see.
And that's what I said. I said, well,
What we can do.
these aren't going to tell us anything
Right.
for the past.
That's why I never understood why we were waiting for them.
Yeah, and then I said, just in case, let's get this started, and we did, she did the whole thing
All
herself.
that tells me is that we're in line for, well, we're mostly in line with where we should be.
If we can get that copy, that would be great.
Where are your copies? You have them?
Yep,
It-
yep,
Let's not push that for
No.
tonight, because we might still have questions as far as for her.
Oh,
As long as we can
yeah.
get them this week and stuff, because
That's
it
right.
gives us time, let's not,
We'll slow you guys down.
thank you.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, new business, Bill 1378, come ordinance 1744.
This is really long, so I'm only reading the highlights. This will be the first reading, an ordinance amending the criminal and traffic code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View. Whereas the city council has determined that there is a need to amend the criminal and traffic code of ordinances of the city of Mountain View, Missouri, be ordained by the council of the city of Mountain View, Missouri as follows, and chapter 6 of the criminal and traffic code of ordinances be amended as follows. Chapter 6, offenses against public order and safety. Article 2, disturbing public order. Section 6-227, disorderly conduct.
The entire thing is new.
The entire thing's new.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, we never had a disorderly conduct before. So it's all,
I was reading through it, I was like, what's the change? This all seems pretty normal to me.
yeah, we just never had one.
Okay.
And we need one.
There's a couple of things that are added as far as the state, but the bad thing, or the sad thing is that we have to add those in. That's the sad thing. It's about like hot coffee.
Don't drink hot coffee, just a warning.
Don't let them know we're gonna get around
My kids can shoot slingshots at each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think we would see where there's a change was made. That one was taken out, most of the stuff.
I'll make a motion to accept Bill 1378, ordinance 1744.
Motion by Stephen, a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Linda. Further discussion? Vote, Linda?
Aye.
Aye.
Brenda? Gary? Aye. Next, we have our distinguished fire chiefs to discuss the integration grant.
All right, we received information on the Volunteer Fire Assistance Matching Funds Grant. With that, there's a criteria for the list of things that we can apply for. It's a 50% match grant. If we spend 20,000, we're reimbursed 10. But the things that we come up with, we try to keep to a minimum. Things that we really need, we come up with just over $5,000 total, which we would be reimbursed half that if the grant is approved. We just kind of need, before we send it in, we need to know if we can spend the $5,000 or more. It's actually like 5,200. We had 2 drip torches, 2 hoses for hose reels, 2 foam packs, 3 brush cutting weed eaters, and then some rakes and shovels. The foam packs were over 1,000 piece.
Sounds like stuff you really, really need, if you're not asking for anything.
Yeah. But,
So it's a 50% match.
yeah, basically, we'll get it for half price if we take advantage of this. And like I said, it's like any grant, we send it in and hope we get it. But you don't have to spend any money until it's approved, and then, but we won't get reimbursement until we show receipts for purchase of it, so.
So the total purchase is 5,200 and some change, and then we'd get reimbursed
Half, 40%.
about 2,600 bucks. I see no problem.
Any special training and stuff that can also be sent and attached to that grant?
Not really anything that
So
fits with
it's
us according to
only
their.
items?
Yeah, they
You
have a
have to have
pretty
a number of
specific
personnel.
list of what can be applied for and what can't.
Number of personnel in our volunteer force, is that part of it too? The
Uh,
criteria?
No, well, it will be in the application, but most of it, like I said, it's a specific list on what we can get. Some of it is some turnout gear, but we're actually doing pretty good on it from our ARPA
previous.
grant. So that has to do with, how many personnel we have, but like I said, right now, we're in good shape on that, so.
Does everybody have new turnout gear?
Everybody has at least one set of new, and then most of them have one old, so that keeps us 2 sets, supposed to wash between each time they're exposed to smoke.
Is this just a every once in a while grant, or is this something you can apply for once a year?
Typically, they're once a year. They're not always, it's been a little over a year since one came out. It's been closer to 2. They kind of get, I guess they're getting a little more stingy with them.
I was just thinking, maybe we do try and get a few of the turnout gears, so we can rotate out of the older ones. 'Cause I know we had talked about that before,
Yeah.
keeping them a new one, but rotating,
Yeah.
How often are you wanting to do that?
Typically, the life of turnout gear is supposed to be 10 years. We would kind of like to wait a little bit and let the new ones get some age before we bring the old ones in, so that they're not all due at once.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
You can remember the exact dates we had talked about.
DJ, what kind of action are we looking for, just our blessing?
I believe so, since he's just, I assume, wanting approval to spend
Yeah.
the 5,000 to get reimbursed.
need to actually vote on it, it's not a resolution, just vote on it.
Yeah.
Proposal,
You just need to authorize them to spend the money and apply for the grant.
make that motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize them to spend,
To apply for a grant
to apply for a grant.
for
Thank
the
you.
total of $5,200,
Why didn't you do it?
because you already started.
I'll second that.
But me and Murray made that motion.
Any further discussion? Vote. then-
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
that's why I
Thank
don't-
you, sir. What comes?
The reason being is that that explicit language has to be in her minutes that goes forward for everybody else. That's why it has to be written down.
Time to discuss pool concrete bids. And, this, I'll turn it over to Eddie.
Front and center.
Yes, go ahead, Eddie.
So, do you all have a printout in your,
I'm ready.
packet?
I
Okay.
get credit.
So, tried to just keep it as simple as I could. You know, the bidder number one come in, you know.
Eddie, excuse me, I'm going to interrupt you, but can you first tell me the intent and the reason? for
Yes,
this?
okay, so, you know, with the pool project we got going on, it's a, you know, give or take $600,000 project, I don't remember the exact dollar amount. And that was to cover the demo and rehab of the existing pool, replumb everything, replumb the pump house, install deck drains, all this. And in the process of doing all the demo work, you know, we had to cut all the way around the pool. And a lot of those areas we had to cut multiple times because when we were breaking old concrete out and taking it out and packing gravel in, we're busting up the rest of the concrete around the pool. It's as old as I am. I mean, it was poured in '79. It was, hey. So, and unfortunately, even though that stuff was damaged during the process of the job, it's not eligible for reimbursement. Now, I've got in there, roughly 10% of the square footage we're looking at replacing is eligible because it's stuff that we had to cut out to run the plumbing and whatnot. So what I would like to do is, since we're gonna be, my deal is we put $600,000 into a pool and then we open it up next year and we've got this brand new pool sitting inside of all this busted concrete that, number one, is gonna look horrible. Number two, is gonna be a hazard. I mean, all it takes is a 1/4 inch difference to cause a hazard. You know, if you got it don't take much concrete shift to make a difference of a 1/4 inch. So, I mean, yes, we could go in with some patch and try and smooth it up, but it's still going to look horrible and it's not gonna last. Now is the time, since the pool is down, we wasn't able to open this year. My recommendation is to go in and replace all of the remaining concrete around that pool. We've got areas of the fence that we had to cut posts out to get equipment in. We'd have to put that back and then go through and take it all back out again to do the concrete work. So, and these bids do include the extension of the deck over on the west side that we've discussed. I think I discussed with Stephen a little bit more, but that would basically eliminate the bleachers outside of the pool area. I know in the past they've had a problem with people coming up, sitting down and watching kids swim, and maybe they had great intentions, maybe they didn't, you know, but it was a concern to them. They felt uneasy about it. This will eliminate those. It would give more room during swim meets. Whenever, you know, before it was a pretty narrow path over there, so nobody was allowed to be there during the swim meets. This would give us roughly 20 feet over there. They could put canopies up for shade. People could be inside the fenced-in area in a, bring their own shade, pop up the canopy, and they can watch the swim meets. Or in the afternoons, there is some trees over there. If you got a parent up there with some children, they might not want to sit out in the sunny part of the pool deck. They can have some shade in the afternoons over there. So, but yeah, these bids do include that extra concrete and extra labor. Like I said, roughly 10% of all this is eligible for reimbursement.
And you recommend the bid number?
Bid number one, he come in the lowest. I reached out to a couple of others with no response back. Bidder three can get on it right away, but we're talking, $8,200 difference between one or I say two, I mean number three. Bidder number three could get on it right away, but if you look at the difference in price, I can kind of see why his work schedule is a little bit more flexible. And bidder number one also is familiar with the project, and has been so far proven to be pretty capable and dependable worker, contractor.
So if you went with bidder number one, which is $24,808,
Yeah.
after 10% grant money, that would be matched.
Yeah.
Then it would be total cost of $21,840. That's what you're asking us to approve, really.
Yeah, because that 10% is part of the job scope. It's going to be pulled back regardless. It has to be in order for us to close out the project. So
Timeline?
he can, after talking to him, he said he could have it done before, his goal is to have it done before the 1st of November, because he's a deer hunter too.
I got two more questions for you, Adam, I promise. And just got with, say, you brought up safety, but before safety, do we have the funds in parks to go forward with this, or is this something that we've got to do some more creative with and move as far as with the budget?
We may have to do a little bit of massaging with the budget, amending, however you want to put it. Well, I know a lot of it, like the pool project, a lot of it.
It took a lot, that's why I'm saying it took a lot out of the parks.
Yeah, it
And
did.
then the third thing you're talking about as far as for the safety aspect, we've got other apparatuses throughout the city that are in parks that are also safety concerns. And if we, for that, we're looking at a longer time period than some of the other things that are there. So I'd like to have, as far as a procedure of work to fix the safety concerns. But the budget is the big one, and the timeline, those are my three. I'm sorry,
No,
Linda.
you're good, you're good. My question is, we've had extensive work up there, and I don't know what all we've got as far as what we gotta cover up and stuff. If there is settling during the winter months, would it be beneficial to wait till spring to do this, or is it something that has to be? I just don't want to pour the concrete and then stuff starts settling because we've had so much going on up there that it's gonna cause cracks or anything like that. I would like it to be done and good,
I think,
but I'm not a
as
contractor.
far as settling, a lot of the reason why our concrete is busting up as we're taking material in and out, is because when we cut out that section and we had to dig it out from the under plumbing, we had a lot of cavitation. So we had to go back through and backfill a lot of that. Now, whenever we go through and bust up and remove concrete, we'll probably still have to bring some gravel in. But as far as underneath that portion, I mean, once we go back with the gravel and screed it off, it's ready to go. And my only fear is with putting it off till spring, things can go crazy when you put them off.
Yeah, will he pack that down as far as the gravel and stuff?
We can pack that.
Okay.
The part that he just poured, no packing to be done on that because it's got all the plumbing in it. But where from what needs replaced now is out of that area, so we're in the safe zone now as far as packing all that in.
The only two things I know about concrete, it get hard and it's gonna crack.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
cold
stuff
weather
covered,
is
yeah.
not a good time to be pouring concrete.
It's already covered.
Okay.
So we've still got, I don't know, I haven't went down and pulled the tape on it. We've got roughly, I'm gonna say, 1.5 feet between the deck drain and the old concrete that would have to be poured in before we can actually close out the project. So, and if I'm not mistaken, that project needs to be closed out by spring of next year, I think. I think it's April, May. So, yeah. So I mean, could we wait till after January? Yes, but you'd also be cutting it really close to get, because that is, you know, I would have to submit all my paperwork for reimbursement before that time period. That would really be cutting it close. If we decided to go ahead and do it this fall, you know, the sooner we can let him know, the better, the quicker he can get it on his books. But if we can get it done this fall, then that'll give me, you know, from, say, November till April to make sure that I've got all my T's crossed and my I's dotted as far as the CDBG stuff goes. So, and from what experience I've had, there's gonna be some back and forth there. It took me quite a while. Now, thankfully, you know, now that we went through one round, we know, you know, pretty much what has to be done, but I can guarantee you there's gonna be some back and forth. So it may take a couple, 3 months for us to get everything submitted. And I don't wanna lose out on $100,000.
I think it's a good idea, I just wanna make sure I didn't want to pour it and
Yeah.
then with everything that's been going on up there, it's gonna be settling and something going on, but if they can pack that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have any problems there.
And then the fear of concrete going up again.
Oh, yeah, no, it's going up, seems like it goes up every month.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Eddie? Thank you.
Don't go nowhere.
No, you have to go rest.
He's up right now.
I've got stuff over there.
Oh.
I gotta go get my stuff.
What are you gonna do?
What he needs to provide is, we gotta make sure we got funding and stuff too, that's the other part.
Well, and you still should do something about awarding a bid, which bid we're gonna choose. We're the ones that gotta decide that.
And so it is if we pick the guy that you want, that
Yeah.
you would prefer to work with at this point,
Yeah.
it is that number,
So bidder
the
number
21,
one.
And then that'd be after the.
Yeah, that'd be after.
that's
Yeah.
total at the end?
Yeah.
Roundabout figure.
That's labor. That's labor. So if you read down. toward
Yeah,
the
that's
bottom.
where I got confused.
So yeah, at the bottom, because I figured if we purchase concrete, there's no chance anybody can mark it up.
And that's the cost of the concrete?
That's the cost of the concrete, including the extension over on the west side.
So
it'll be a total
It's
cost
of
of,
47,648.
yeah.
Yeah. We really didn't see if we have that money. That's the
That's-
question I had about that.
Yeah.
I was just
Funding-
clarifying.
Funding and priorities.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, it is a priority. I've been over there. It needs to be done.
So you guys authorize the bid number one.
Yeah, as long as we can figure out the funding, I personally would go with bid number one. I think the guy does great work, and he was very responsive,
Yeah.
so.
So I make a motion to that effect.
I will make a motion that as long as we can figure out the funding, I would like to go with bid one on Eddie's proposal for the pool concrete.
We have a second.
You need to say who and how much to accept a bid.
I don't have, well, I have the number.
47.
It's bid one, and his labor cost is 24,808. And with the city to purchase the concrete, and at the moment, that's at 21,840. Do you need a name?
Yeah, you have to approve the bid.
It's LP Iron Ender.
discussion? Big.
Big.
How about vote?
I'm not a concrete man. Aye. Chips on the head.
Okay, thank you very much, Eddie. Eddie, you present your case on this brush mower.
No, he's been presenting this for about 3 months now.
Yeah, yeah, I should have said.
So, I was gonna print out papers for everybody, but there's a lot of papers here,
So
so.
what departments are we looking at?
So we're looking at golf, street, electric, water. So we got 4 departments here, and I believe they all had brought it up to you when they was up here giving their pitch for the budget. So I've looked at several different brush cutters, several. And this company here is one that I kept going back to, so I
I
could.
think you showed us before, I've got that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What about wastewater?
Nothing inside the fence.
What if they got out of control for a while and then had to
Yeah.
get to it?
Yeah, I mean, they
I know they keep it pretty clean.
They keep it pretty clean inside the fence down there. So what I'm looking at, I mean, the brush cutter that I was originally looking at took a price jump like everything else did. And I want to say it was just shy of 6,000 whenever we were talking about it for the cutter.
So what's it up to now?
Now it is 7127 for the
So
same
you're
cutter.
still looking at what per department?
That would be about 2250 per department, 2300 per department. I mean, the main difference is I've got 2 different cutters here. One of them has carbide cutters on the bottom of it, one doesn't. Carbides are nice if you're trying to mulch stumps, but with our soil, they're also breaking a lot. And that machine it adds weight too. It's got a different flywheel. I think it's a 4-blade system with cutters. I can get a very comparable machine, same company. It's basically that machine minus one, it's a 3-blade flywheel versus a 4-blade, and no carbide cutters. I think personally, our machine would handle this cutter better. It's just a shade lighter. And when you're talking, you know, if you've got to get in there and pick that cutter up, you're really gonna see, you know, when you're, the weight of this one versus this one is close enough to our tipping weight. I would feel more comfortable going with the non-carbide cutter.
What's the cost on that one?
5,000. So we're 5,000 units. That's for
Between 4
72
departments?
inch. What's that?
Between 4 departments?
Yep. Yep.
So,
Now, I will say, regardless of what cutter we get, we need to look at the ballistic
The
door.
glass shields?
Yeah. That's a must. I don't care what brand.
I've got some of those if we can, I've got 3 of them.
Okay.
2 of them's brand new, one's used.
What was the cost on that if we can't?
On the ballistic door, the one I found was around $800 or $900. So,
But I've got, if they'll fit, I've got 2 brand new ones that still got the,
are they the like
Yes.
polycarbonate?
yes,
Oh, dang.
they come from Komatsu at Springfield. They wouldn't fit the track over they ordered them for, and they was going in the trash. They're $900 to $2,000 classes.
Yeah.
Anyway, is our machine hydraulically capable of doing this okay?
This company builds a cutter to our machine.
Okay,
So that's why there is a 5 to 6 week lead time on it.
that's,
So,
that's more important to me than.
and I will say, I've got personal experience with this company. I own one of their cutters. I bought the cheapest one that I could when I bought my machine, and I put it through all kinds of stuff. It should not look as good as it does. I've been really happy with it. So, and their customer service is there too. When I call, I get the same guy every time I call him on the phone. So, I mean, there was other companies out there that was, you know, fairly close on price, but the customer service means a lot. And they make a good product.
If you could make that ballistic door I've got work, I'll just go there.
I can try it, see
Like I
if
said,
it's
I've got
possible.
one that's used that you can try and see whatever. But I think
They're not cheap.
getting wide, but good size,
We can try it.
and I think they're 3.
I bet they're a lot more door than what you get with that machine.
So I know there is. Because they was using them on the track hose with the forestry head on.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else for, as far as questions.
I don't either.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I'll make a
thank you,
motion.
sir.
I make a motion that we allow Eddie to purchase the brush cutter for around 5,000, split between the 4 departments that need it.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Further discussion? Vote, Linda?
Aye.
Aye.
Brenda?
Aye.
Bert?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Yep. Well, can you give us that too, sir, if there are any questions or things? I'm not sure.
Rut Manufacturing. Rut Manufacturing.
They're a good machine.
There's one.
I love them.
Hang on, that one.
See if you can do that.
Have to find out how to cut that ballistic stuff.
Huh?
Find out what cuts that ballistic. So I don't know what cuts it.
Looks like carpet. It's all good. I want to shoot it. I want to shoot it. Yeah. You look at a big piece of thing like this. Are we waiting on
Yeah, we like that. Could. Yeah, we don't proceed without it either. So as soon as we take a break, then it would. Assistant Police Chief, would you please plan up? Yes, sir.
All right, so it's the time of year again for Pioneer Days, and every year we ask the council for some special authority. So this is for special enforcement for parking for Pioneer Days. So this year it's the same deal. It's the 2 blocks either side of Oak Street, First, Second Street, and on the parking lots of MSU, and on the back side of the library. We put up our temporary parking areas, and we need special authority from the board to, under section 2-240, I'll read it. The chief of police and the police department, with the authority of the board of aldermen, may make regulations necessary to make effective the provisions of the traffic ordinances of the city and to make and enforce temporary regulations to cover emergencies or special conditions. So under special conditions for Pioneer Days, we we ask the board to give us authority to make and enforce special parking regulations. And I just need the board to say. Okay. No money involved, so that's,
Same old same.
same old same. It's gonna be just exactly like it was.
Just need it, okay?
Since I've
Yep,
been
just
here.
a motion.
Need a motion.
Just a motion, I guess.
Just a motion.
Just a motion.
You gonna read the numbers?
Do the motion.
I can read the numbers, I can.
Two dash 240.
2-240.
Make that motion, Marty.
Make a motion that we grant the police department special authority for traffic for Pioneer Days according to 2-240.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Let's vote. Lingo.
Aye.
Aye.
Stephen. Greg.
Aye.
Barry.
Aye.
Passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And as I did, the other amendment I had at the beginning was for the audit findings. It was more for the public's knowledge than ours. I think we all know, we all have the audit. We finally had we went back 2 full years behind last year, so really 3 years. And not so much the numbers. Numbers came out great, no problem. We weren't millionaires and we didn't lose money. We did okay. I just wanted to let them know that the final report from the auditor, which is the same as any audit you get. I don't care if the state mandates it or we hired or whoever. It's an independent auditor. They reported all back to the state, and they did. We do. And we came out looking pretty darn good. We've got everything in order. Our books are all in order. We're good. There was no findings of misgivings, miss anything. We're doing good. Everything's up to par, and we have a good audit to start off of. Now the board, for the first time in a year and a half, can actually take off. Well, it's for 3.5 years, but a year and a half for us. And we have something to start with. We know where we're at. We know where we're going. And as soon as they, divulge everything in there, once they get used to what everything's in there, we'll know exactly what's what as we go over the next 6 months. And it's going to be a whole lot easier on the board. We've got it. It cost us, probably a grand total of about $100 grand to do, but we've got it done and we're looking good. But that's over 2 years worth, 2 years of solid audit, and the third year is just our in-house, because we put that together off of their 2 audits, and because our books are straight now. So that was easy. And that's easy year on out, every year. It'll be easy as long as the books are kept properly, the things are coded well, the treasurer takes care of that. And everybody does their part at City Hall, and they have. And we're looking good at going ahead now, and we'll be able to make decisions a whole lot easier, quicker, and more, feel better about it than, we've always been him-hawing up here for the last year and a half because we had good reason. We didn't know where we were started from, and we were just going in the dark, and they did a good job. We really did good. And this following year, after going off of nothing, we did as good a job as probably if we knew where we were at. But legally, we're right now, all 3 years back. So we're doing real good. So I just wanted to let everybody know that rest assured that we're moving ahead in a real good direction, and that money was well spent. That's it, unless you guys have any questions on it. You guys have, and it'll be available to others, but in there's a report at the end, and it tells of the findings, our material weaknesses, what's good and bad about our entire system, including our staff. No. Yeah, the so-called weaknesses are not a problem because it's usually the limited number of available personnel prohibit this and this and this, segregation of this, duties and all that stuff. Hey, we've only got so many people in this city working for us, and we're not big enough city to hire 30 people to have counter signatures and that 3 times around. So we did good. Our weaknesses are not anything that we have to do and work on. We have a page or 2 of suggestions. We've got everybody on the staff working on all them. They're all very, very fixable, and we're on it. So just want to bring everybody up to date on that. And next Council to discuss Columbus Day holiday.
It's not in our
Handbook.
handbook, but we were off last year.
What was voted on it last year? Did you look the minutes up?
It says that it was voted on, it didn't say anything about only particularly for that year or not. That's all it said in the minutes, it was just voted on that.
So we gave it off last year, just that year.
It
so-
didn't say only just for that year, just said, so I wanted to bring it up because it didn't specify only for that year, it just said it was. So, I mean, the banks and post offices are closed, people expect us to be closed anyway, so.
How many holidays are we at right now?
I can, October.
Yes, it is.
Nine.
That's counting.
That doesn't count holidays.
So all other offices are closed.
What day of the week is it?
This is just closed across the board. This isn't like giving them a hospital.
I mean, it's up to you guys, whatever you want to do.
I just asked it.
It's not in our handbook, so I have to ask. If that holiday is not in our handbook, I have to ask for it.
Really, when we were operating in the dark, audit-wise, numbers-wise, we as a board had decided to just do it for that day and let's not make it yearly because we don't know what's happening next year. We may be bankrupt by next year, and that's what we did. I remember we discussed it and said, well, okay, we'll give it to you this year. That was last year. And we'll see what happens next year. Let's see where we're at. And so it's up to you guys now this year. Yeah, we are solvent. We don't have a problem. We're not really losing money or making money by being open. I think we'd really shouldn't be losing money if we're open because we're not going to get as much done because there's nobody else open. We can't get anything fixed, anything done. Might as well just let everybody have a day off and get the extra benefit of working for the city.
We've had this back and forth before, and the biggest thing, even in the audit's findings and stuff, we still got work to do because of the audit, and they're not only recommendations, but pointing out what it comes from. One of it is the amount of overtime, and we do have people who have to work every day. Every time we make a holiday, that also increases the amount of money that has to come out in either time off or something else because of it. That's why we set X amount of days, and that's why we go by the governmental list. So we need to keep that in mind too. Because if you look across the board, the number of hours as far as for what is available for overtime, the same names come up because those are the people that have.
That also gets into a deal with the wages too, that some of those make
Yep.
not only time and a half, but they're actually making double time, is that right?
They have to work on holiday.
But they actually got time for it.
They do. If we give it off to them, they would.
But that's just like any other holiday that's for Christmas or any other holiday that's on there. I mean, Columbus Day is
To avoid that, the last time that we had this discussion, didn't we?
We offered they could take off for the actual time and
Yeah.
stuff if they had it against them, that they could take time. You know, you also think about it, trash is going to be running, you know, even if it's a scheduled school or thing, and that's one of the departments that nobody seems to remember.
we would do it like we did the day before 4th of July, or, yeah, we would do it like we did the day before 4th of July.
If they want to take it off,
Like nobody's gonna be.
that's what I recommend, and that's, like I said, I'm only one voice and stuff, but that's one of the major things that I keep seeing over and over again. We're seeing it again.
I would be
Are
in
they
favor of that too, and then if they
encouraged?
wanna take off each comp time or whatever.
You know, try to put that in motion, see how it sounds.
Do I want to put it in a motion? I want to make sure that these guys are in place first before we even get to them.
But then we're discussing.
I mean, just right now they don't have it off, so I don't know why we need to make a motion, we'd have to make a motion if we gave it to them, correct? So if we don't want, I mean, if it goes through to where they can take something off it and do, that's the same thing as any of the other policies.
So what are you proposing that, how's this gonna work with the padlock?
If they want to call in as far as for that day to use some of their time, then that's something that we can schedule through. But that's my opinion as far as for that particular, because like I said, this is one of the holidays that's not listed. It's in, you know, we keep adding holidays. We have added extra holidays for the last 2 years. Juneteenth was done by federally, and that was put in 2 years.
We had, there was another one that was added.
Yeah,
We did the first of January, that came off.
That's just in the landfill, that was like, that was just a year by year basis.
I think the thing with Fourth of July this year is because there was
Wait
a
for it to
holiday
build.
there. Like, if you all decided not to do anything with this, I wouldn't think, I mean, just be like any other day. Because it's not before or after a day we already have off, so.
It wasn't there. It's not on the deal, so I knew it was voted on last year, so that's why I brought it up again.
So you're saying that if they wanna use their time, they can use their time, which they can anyway.
Right, that's what I said, and that doesn't require anything from
But
us.
go ahead and just normally, just
Normal
figure out
operating.
and open.
I agree with that, but I also agree that at some point we need to sit down with what holidays we offer. We really need to get that employee handbook straight, and so this doesn't keep being questioned.
I do feel like if we're off Juneteenth.
Yeah, that's administrative.
Right. Yeah. So,
Do we need a motion just to not take any days off?
I think if they're not changing anything, then you don't need a motion.
Okay. Next one, Sarah, you had something to bring up?
Oh, this is just in the mayor's minutes. I was contacted today by the Daughters of the Revolution, American Revolution. They are doing the Wreaths Across America, December 16th. I reached out to Andrea with Rotary Chamber and Betterment and everything that she's got, and then also Carla Garber for Rotary and the funeral home. They have 184 veterans in our Veterans Cemetery and then the adjoining cemetery there that they will be laying the Christmas wreaths on, December 16th. I don't know the exact start time, but I know it's around 11. They're asking for people, for volunteers. They need 184 people to come and help lay the wreaths themselves. We need people to maybe hold flags or do something or raise flags, or I don't know if those flagpoles are still there. Are they in the Veterans Cemetery? Okay, so we may need to have like someone volunteer to bring a flag or something if we don't have all of them at the VFW. Place the wreath, they're looking for donations. I think she told me it costs $3,214 for all 184. It's like $17 a piece for the wreath. They're gonna have a booth set up at Pioneer Days, so they'll be able to be out. They'll be talking to people. People can, give $5 or do something. But this is the first time that they've done it in this area, and I really think it would be nice if we could, help them raise all that money so they don't have to come up with it. Have enough people to be able to come and help place those wreaths on the veterans' stones.
Question, are they gonna be putting some of those on the veterans that are in our cemetery?
It's only our cemetery. This is our town. I did ask about a different cemetery because my grandfather is buried in a different place, and she said they were starting with this one. This is their first one to tackle. So it's going to be our veterans cemetery, and then also bring on any veteran that is buried there as well. She did say anyone that does have a family member somewhere else, I can, anyone who's interested, I have all of her contact information. She'll have some forms and things at Pioneer Days to be able to, buy a wreath yourself for another cemetery, because that's what I'm gonna choose to do, to get one, so I know that he has one. And then in turn, you pay your $17 for that specific person at a different cemetery, and you also pay $17 to make sure that's not one that's taken away from the 184 that we have here. So it's, $17 is not that much to kind of pay respects and do something like that. So she did reach out to me today. I'm in contact with her. I gave her Andrea's contact information. Like I said, I talked to Andrea and Carla both. So I just think it's really cool that
how
they're
many volunteers are they looking for?
184. Yeah. Yeah, that's just how many wreaths that they have. I mean, they said they want any organization, anyone that wants to be there to, they have a small ceremony once this is done. After they place the wreath on the grave, you know, you say the name of the veteran that you were actually placing that onto their stone. And then once it is done, she said, you know, it won't be very long because it's December, so it'll be cold. But they will leave the wreath on there until January 1st. They do like a little ceremony at the end, the national anthem, they taps. They just kind of have a moment of silence and stuff. It's a very, if you've never like seen it or seen it done or anything like that, I encourage you to look at it. It's pretty cool what they do.
Is this done on Veterans Day?
It's gonna be done December 16th.
December 16th.
There's like a national program that's reached across America, and so they chose to pick our place specifically because we do have just a designated veteran cemetery, but they will be honoring everyone else that's buried in the cemetery that is a veteran as well.
Does she have a flyer yet?
Not yet.
Does she have a timeline of when they're building
Oh.
those?
They are, no, it's done already. It comes to us.
Oh, so we just need, somebody just
We
go
just
drop
need-
it off? and
No,
money?
no, it's all done. October 31st is her deadline, like, no, and they do this all themselves. The deadline to have all of the money and everything in is October 31st. They have their own organization, the Wreaths Across America has their own organization, plus the Daughters of the American Revolution will have their deal. They're gonna have a red truck, a white truck, and a blue truck. They will be picking the wreaths up from the VFW hall, and they'll be transported on that Saturday directly to the Veterans Cemetery by this organization. They're also gonna ask Stetson for a police escort, and then Jason, they'll want a fire department escort as well. They asked that to happen, and maybe block off some traffic so they can get through, because this is their, you know, these are honored things, and so they want an escort with that as well. But it's,
So it's just placing it on there,
it's just
is all
placing
all you need
they
volunteers
give
for?
you, yeah, they give you the wreath, they tell you the veterans name, you know where they are. You place the wreath on and you say their name out loud, and they would love to be able to have the 184 people to be able to do it basically simultaneously, but if not, they understand, you know, you can take a row and do it. So that's what they need the volunteers for, to do that kind of stuff.
Thank you very much. Very good cause. For anyone at the board have anything for the good of the order? Open
I
it
don't
up
know the
just-
exact
oh,
start time. I
sorry.
know it ends around 11. I did tell her, she told me that she would get back with me. Yes, 11 in the morning.
That's the day of the parade.
I know, I did tell her that, it's not in the evening, so I told her it was the same day as our parade, but she said, I asked her what time, she said, well, it should end around 11. She said, once I got closer, she would let me know, like, the exact time of when they would be at the vehicle, when they would get that, because I told her I have to make the arrangements, because of the police department, the fire department knew when they needed to be at their specific spots, that kind of stuff. So once I know a little bit more, then I'll update everything.
Thank you again.
Yeah.
Okay, if anyone has anything pressing that they really want to present to the board, I'll open it up for a minute or two. Otherwise, we're gonna, I think we may end up in closed session. I'm not sure, I haven't heard a proposal yet, but we may. But I'd like to just give you guys a chance, just in case we get out of here. Yes, sir.
You know, a couple of questions. The city administration position, I've asked before, is this still an ongoing thing, yes or no?
As far as,
As hiring?
And yes, and it was actually
Okay,
addressed.
that's all
in
I
the-
asked, that's all I asked. Next question, and it's never been answered. How much you gonna pay this person? You can't say?
We don't know yet.
you
Why
can't,
not?
you can't say that until you get the applicants in, and they're probably
Wait a
gonna have.
minute, if you go to buy an automobile, you know what you're gonna pay. If you, Stephen, go to do some construction work, you know within a few $1,000s of what you're gonna do. And the attitude that I'm getting is the attitude I'm gonna give you. Okay, I think it's unfair for the city council to sit there and go through the budget and ask about, let's see, what was it tonight? Who's not doing their job? Whose job is the city administration supposed to, what are they supposed to do, okay? What do you want this person for? Nobody's ever answered those questions. You could discuss this amongst everybody here in the open, but yet the city council seems to refuse to do such, to take on a conversation with the public. Okay, you say you don't know what you're gonna pay them, but yet you can sit here and talk about, on the budget, you're asking about toilet paper, $250. Murray, you said every 10 years. Has it been 10 years since we've had a city administrator? That's the cycle. That's what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm paying attention to.
10
And
years ago,
nobody's
the
told
cycle
me.
was, as far as for anything in schools, was we had a youth
You
program
said
that
the
was
same
outstanding,
thing about the
right?
city also.
City administrator has lasted between 5 and 8 years with the exception of the first 3. Go back and look at the history. I've been here for 21 years. The cycle has changed every 10 years. People get upset about things for it, but that seems to be the cycle.
So it's
The other
been
thing
10
for as
years
far as
since we've had a
funding
city
was,
administrator.
is that for this part, you had to find out what kind of problems was done, correct? We didn't fix everything fast enough for the
Next
previous
question,
things that
when I
come
say
through. No,
that,
no, wait,
nobody
wait,
will tell me
wait.
what
I'm
you're gonna
I'm
pay.
answering
One at a
some.
time,
not your
please. One at a-
business.
Oh, wait,
one at a
I'm
time.
answering some of these.
Yeah, it
Wait,
is.
wait.
It's our tax dollars that pays for this.
Wait,
city
wait,
administrator.
stop, wait.
Out of here. Until they
Wait,
interview you,
I
everybody
don't
has what they want.
Hey,
That's what you're gonna do.
all I'm doing is just answering some of the stuff that comes through.
Okay, we're not going to get into a big argument here.
Well, I'm not trying to get
You
into
can
an
ask a
argument,
few
but what I
questions,
am
but we're not
trying
gonna
to
argue.
point out is you ask all the time about brush cutters, this, that, and okay, you're saving a nickel here, you're saving a nickel there, $1,000 here, $1,000 there, but yet you won't step up and say, we're gonna pay that city administrator $65,000. And next question is this, you brought it up in April, I've got it right here in the paperwork, 5 months. The person that you're intending to hire for a city administration, they applied 4 months ago for the job. They haven't gotten it yet, nobody has. My question would be, if they haven't moved on to another job, why do we want to hire such
They
person?
have a job, they just haven't left that job yet.
Then in other words, you're gonna pay them more money?
No?
No, then why would they want to come to work here?
I think part of it, Calvin, is on my thought process of this is with the city administrator, Eddie's got his hands full.
I just asked, who's not doing their job?
Everybody's doing their job, but there's enough stuff falling through the cracks that we can't keep up with. I'm spending 70 or 80 hours a week on the phone, doing stuff, answering questions for $21 a month, or a week. Are you gonna do that? No. But I think it would be beneficial for this city, and as far as the pay,
Well,
I'm gonna
Linda,
say
if
you're
I'm not mistaken, you were on the last city council that hired the last city administration, and you
No,
said
no,
right
no,
there
no,
and
no.
said for 2 years they did a great job, and then it went downhill.
they hired him when I come on. Jeremy hired him, I come on that night.
No, I
But-
talked to Jeremy personally. Jeremy said, no, he did not hire him. He could not believe
Okay, we're
that
not
the
gonna
city
argue,
hired him.
guys.
They voted on it the night that I come in because I didn't have a say in it. And they hired Mike Wade the night that they put me on. It was already said and done,
Well, I'm not using anybody's name
Yeah.
because you're not supposed to do stuff.
Okay, well, I'm sorry then, but they put him on before I come on.
But you
But yeah.
still haven't said whether you're gonna pay that person
You're
$60,000.
probably gonna be looking at $60,000 or $70,000 a year for
Okay,
city
so there you go, but you're trying to save money, it looks like to me. Stephen, you absolutely said it, you're elected to look at stuff on there, but yet you're willing to spend without knowing what you're actually going to do with this person, $60,000 a year,
So it's
plus benefits.
I think we've got a very good idea what we're gonna do.
Then why don't you put it out to the public and inform us? What's falling through the cracks?
There's a lot of stuff. on
You,
there.
see, that's easy to say, but
So,
it's hard to put a finger
Okay,
on.
let me ask you this. If there is people coming to me on a daily basis,
Then
we don't
you-
have, Sarah's busy, John's a part-time employee, he's the mayor. We don't have a handbook done. We don't have a job description for anybody in this city.
No SOP.
Well, there you go, right there. I asked that question, you never answered that. You just did. You got no job description for a city administrator.
Yes,
You
we
just
do.
answered
City
that.
administrator's gonna be
Okay,
doing.
excuse me,
Don't
Cricket,
start.
I'm sorry. This is
Yes.
those people.
Just don't start going between each other. Okay, is there any other concerns? I
I
appreciate
have
the
a
concern.
I have a question. It's not, and I've been doing a lot of studying in class 3 cities, class 4 cities, all of this, how it's laid out, what the council does, who the mayor does, what a city manager does. Okay, and I guess my question is, does anybody up there that's on the city council have a problem with Eddie Owens and the job he's doing?
Eddie's doing great as operations manager.
Doing a good job.
Okay,
And that's for operations. So the problems that we're looking at is administrative.
okay, that's where I'm going with
Okay,
this.
thank you.
Okay, rather than hire, and this is just asking you to consider it, rather than hiring a city administrator, because you've got operations under fairly good control, there doesn't seem to be a lot of bickering between employees. This is something I listened to, I talked to a lot of different people. What about hiring a financial officer that would take care of the finance, all these questions you guys have, this budget stuff, that would take care of getting the finances and keeping all of that, and then give John and Eddie together an administrative assistant to help get their paperwork and their stuff done, to free up Eddie to do a little bit more stuff. A lot of the human resources stuff and this stuff could be done by Eddie if he had the time. If he had the time. And how much time, Eddie, do you spend on paperwork? How much of your job is paperwork, this stuff right here?
I couldn't put a time on it. I spend more time on it than I care to.
Sometimes it
can't
makes
be-
me do it.
Well, I can't.
And that's another thing. Sometimes I do know Sarah has to do stuff for John, she has to do stuff for Eddie. If they had an administrative assistant, which would not be that high of a paying job, and considering that we paid Linda Higgins $71,239.34 plus at $100 an hour, plus food, plus lodging, plus gas,
That was T.
That was a different name.
That's
Don't-
or whatever name.
Yeah, that's the
Anyway,
financial.
whoever it was, we paid that out for financial consulting. Okay, you've got the audit, you've got the finances, you know where things are. Hire, and a financial counselor or a financial officer does not have to work full-time. You could hire a part-time one, you could have her hire a half-time, somebody that works half the week, half the time. I'm just saying, take it into consideration, because I have a feeling, and I've seen this happen in little cities and big cities. Most of the time, and I watched the last city manager walk around here for 3 years with a coffee cup looking philosophical and not doing a dang thing. And I was down here in this office more than I care to be, as a pastor of a church up here trying to get, in the school, trying to get property taken care of. I'm just saying, take it into consideration. Take this option and look at it, is all I'm saying.
We appreciate it. Thank you. All right, everybody else set? You ready to make that motion? Whatever you want to
You
do.
have mayor minutes.
Oh, I didn't do, yeah, that was my mayor
That was
minutes.
kind of your audit.
That's-
Okay.
that
I didn't know
was-
if you had more than what Sarah had.
No, I told you that the audit was good
Do
and
we
all that
have
stuff.
closed session?
It's
That's up
on
to
the
you
paper.
guys.
It's
Yeah,
on the
we
paper.
have that to do if you guys want to.
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session.
I got one thing.
According to RSMO 610.021.
It really does have to do with Robin. When I think the city should think about this. When she's talking about all these people camping or coming into town, does the city, and that's what I'd like for you guys to do, I mean, I'm not an expert, so where could these people be? In other words, let's say we have 1,200 people show up that have campers and tents. I mean, we're not talking the desert thing, but does the city have a place that they could put them? They go out Y Highway to the VFW out there, or, you know, any plans whatsoever to do so? I mean, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. The city, I would think, could make a lot of money off of this if that many people are willing to camp.
You would open yourself up to 5 acres. Somebody got hurt.
But I do think,
Insurance for just one day.
That's
oh,
something to
that's something to
consider.
definitely look into a little more.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I agree with you. There is gonna be a lot of people that come in and you're gonna have people sleeping in their cars and we want people to not do things wrong. So if we have a designated area or can find a designated area on somebody's property, if it's not our own, then yeah, I think it's something to definitely look into.
We have a motion on the floor,
I'll second it.
and seconded by Stephen. All in favor, go into closed session?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Okay, Greg, we will go into closed session after 5-minute break.